got mail. Good morning, everybody. You're tuned to Computers 2K now on the Nissan Communications Network. I am on your host for the next couple of hours, along with Spence.
Is it that time again?
It's that time again.
All right.
And Gal is here.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Nick is here. No, he's not. Yes, he is. No, he's not.
He just stepped away.
here. He's here, but he went.
He'll join us in a sec.
Yeah.
He's filling his coffee.
Our number is 919-518-9773, Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And today's show is made possible by Vmix Software and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. Yeah, another week gone by.
Yeah.
And we're still here.
Too fast. You know how I can tell
I
things are
know.
going really fast? I fill a tray with my vitamins and stuff,
Yeah. Oh,
and I go
yeah.
through there. It's like, wait a second, I just filled this.
Well, not to press on the pedal too much, right? It is today 6 years since I joined the show.
6 years.
Oh, yeah, he was telling me something. That's
6
amazing.
years.
That now, talk about time flies.
Indeed.
If somebody was,
Amnon,
if
when did you
somebody,
first-
if somebody would ask me, how long was Gal in the show? I would say, I don't know, 3-4 years. 6.
when was the first time you invited me to the show? 1990 what?
Oh gosh, it was in
93?
No, it was after we met in 95, 96.
At the Internet Center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when,
Yes. Oh,
I
shortly
invited
after that,
you.
I guess. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
27 years? Really?
Something like that. Yeah. Well,
Wow.
look at our hair.
I know. Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. I see pictures. I had jet black hair
Mm,
when I was younger.
Yep. So, what's been happening?
The same stuff all over again.
Same old same.
I discovered an interesting flaw with Amazon Fire Stick
Uh-oh.
somehow. When you configure the wireless, I have the same SSID for both my 5 and 2.4 gig networks, which is common now. It will hand off. The new Wi-Fi technologies automatically hand off, take the fastest route. Well, apparently the Fire Stick doesn't do that, because I noticed all of a sudden I started getting buffering on everything on the Fire Stick. And so I'm going, oh, that's crazy. I'm running speed tests and it's really low. And I go into the configuration to see, well, let me look at the wireless. I'll reset it. And I see there's 2 instances of my network, the same name. That's weird. So I went to the second one and there was no password. So I entered the password, switched to that one. Wow, it works again. So for some reason, it was discerning between the 2.4 and 5. It must have been an update, because there was an update recently. Menu changed a little bit. And it was literally making Netflix and Amazon and other things buffer. It was amazing. So I switched over to 5 and everything's cool. Oh, well.
Keep going.
Doesn't sound. I mean, even on the 2.4.
It should have been fast enough.
Yeah, because the signal will be stronger on 2.4. So
Well, this is real. They're real close. I mean, the router's in the top of the same cabinet where the
sounds to me more. Yeah, it sounds
Well,
to
maybe
me
if
more like
it's,
interference.
I was going to say, if it's literally directly above it, you could be in kind of like a weird,
Well,
Yeah.
like a, I don't know what you call, like a weird dark zone or black zone, because it's literally directly above, depending on where the antennas are and the propagation from the
this is
antennas, you
not.
could have a little area.
It's AT&T's modem. I
So there
forget
are
what
no, all the antennas are inside. Yeah.
inside, and they're panel antennas or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're
You
not
literally,
adjustable.
you could literally have a black zone or a dead zone
Yeah,
right
but
above it. That's weird.
Switching it to 5 fixed it, because now I'm
Makes
getting
sense.
like
It's
175 meg. I did a test.
well, what's the 5 gigahertz is what, a longer wavelength,
Shorter
so
wavelength.
Shorter.
It's tighter.
shorter wavelength. So maybe the
Yeah.
the skip or the dark zone or black zone isn't as bad. I've had weird issues with Wi-Fi like that before. I've got an issue right now with a
Guys,
Z-Wave.
guys, Nick, our audio is not going out through the reruns. I did a Windows 10 updates last night, and I'm looking at it, and
Uh-oh.
yeah, I mean,
I'll go check.
Well, let me log in and fix it.
it's the copy. What is it? The desktop remote is on.
Okay. Well, I'll log in and handle it. We're good.
Yeah, there's no audio.
So, yeah, I've got a weird issue with a Z-Wave device that is seemingly directly above where my controller is, that continually loses its connection for periods of days at a time. It's very odd.
It's on battery or it's on.
It's on battery.
What's the type of device it is?
It is a water leak sensor, and it's sitting in an aluminum tray.
It's
So
sitting in an aluminum tray.
It's sitting in a tray. It's sitting in an HVAC drip pan.
I have that. The highest point in my house for any Wi-Fi connected devices is my water heater, and it has an aluminum drip pan. And I have a one Wi-Fi sensor and one 900 megahertz sensor in there, and they both work.
Yeah, I don't know what my issue is particularly.
Even water can actually, your body, because it's so much water, can deflect and also attenuate a signal, Wi-Fi signal. But
I don't think it's a Z-Wave issue. Sounds like
I think it's
something else.
it's got to be an interference. And I've switched the sensors. I have 2 drip sensors. I have one for the HVAC and one for the hot water heater. And I swapped them last week because the one upstairs hadn't checked in like a month. So I flipped them, and now the water heater one, which is upstairs in the attic, is not reporting, and the old HVAC one is reporting accurately. It's weird.
try taking it out of the pan like a foot away and see.
Well,
if
it worked
starts
for
to
about a
work.
week and a half while it was up
Yeah,
there. The problem
that's
is, to
weird.
get to the attic, there's no stairs. It's a ladder, and it's a
Oh.
royal pain in the ass to get up there and down. So, not
No.
not the ideal scenario, as they say.
There are what frequency is Z?
It's as far as I recall, it's a low frequency.
And that should be much more tolerant of.
I never really
Reflection.
had the issue before, and then all of the sudden, I started having the issue. All right, Amnon, we should be good to go.
Yep, it's working.
Yeah, the module is back. What was it?
Well, when you do a Windows update, sometimes the default sound device changes, and you have had everything set differently. So,
Yeah, but the whole vMix module, the sound was not there. It was like it was off. Now it's on.
well, because the device, the default device was not existing.
You see,
so.
never had these problems with Windows 7.
That's
Never.
bullshit. Yes, you did.
Nah.
Every copy of Windows has issues when you do an update. That is complete and total nonsense.
There's nothing worse. Your worst fear should be getting your machine ready. After an
there
update.
are little issues like that, but I don't know.
I think, yeah, I don't think the new OS is worse than the old OS. It's
Definitely
not.
not.
Because it's still the
Yeah.
same OS. They just band-aided it.
Not band-aided, but it's like
I go
I
back.
think you only see improvements.
Oh,
Literally, you do see changes in the way you interface with it, and it's annoying that you need to learn new stuff. I will not take that away. Okay, I do not think that that needs to be the norm. That every time they decide that some new design is required, right, that it comes on. But that's true for any software, right? Not just OS. And I do think that it is getting stabler, and the features that are added to it are more robust. And overall the workflow is improving all the time, all the time.
but I am concerned when I see you go into setting up Windows 11 new machine, and control panel is still there. The
Yeah,
the old Outlook account window that's written in Visual Basic, it's
Yeah,
still there.
still there. Yeah.
It's still there. So it's still the underlying things are still there.
Well, I think Windows. I was watching a YouTube video a couple weeks ago. The Windows. I don't know if Windows 11 has, but Windows 10 still had the fax, it was either the dial up or the fax setup. Like it would pull up like essentially like the Windows 95 style menu, because I guess there's still some dependency or something that might need to potentially use something like the Windows fax service to do something, and it's still in there.
I mean, if you have a
Yeah, it's
modem on
still
the
in there. Windows
machine and
fax and
you
scan.
need facts, right,
Yeah,
and you need facts, nobody has developed a new model to replace that. So
sure.
it's easier to keep it there. I agree. Yeah.
Well, good morning. I finally made it.
Hi, Katie.
Good morning.
And guess what? I bought a sixth printer. So, how many printers can I buy and hook up to my house before my house catches on fire and explodes?
I don't think that's a real problem. These
So,
machines, I don't think
Could
they
overload a
draw that.
circuit.
When you pop a circuit breaker, you know you've gone too far.
okay, because I am so Bamboo's. I think they're about to have their anniversary sale, and I had another video go viral with a new product, and I woke up to 100 orders, and I'm like, oh gosh.
Damn.
And so I know I'm gearing up for the Halloween season because the items I'm making are spooky themed, and people are like going feral over them. So I'm just capped out at how many orders I can fill, and I was like, oh, I need 10 printers. But then I'm like, wait a minute, am I gonna start a house fire? Like, what would be the most optimal thing? Like spread it out throughout the house, like do some downstairs and do some upstairs. Like, what do you think?
No, you
I
just
have a
have to
question.
upgrade your circuit.
I have a question. Do you have individual power strips connected to the outlets, or are the printers directly connected to outlets?
Some of them are connected to power strips, some of them are directly to outlets. The next thing I'm going to upgrade is actually connect all the printers to a battery backup.
Yeah.
Costco sells big battery banks for $125. So because when I lose power, the machine automatically pauses and stops. And my power, I've never like lost power completely. Like it flickers, but even when it flickers, it stops the printer.
That's enough.
Yeah, so I need it to kick back on, or else I've wasted hours of print time.
Okay. I'm not sure the Costco one is the one you want.
Right.
No, okay.
Make sure you get a real sine wave power UPS.
Sine wave. I'm gonna write that down.
And
Wait
not-
until
not-
specials today. I may or may not have a real simulated.
Not a
sine
simulated
wave.
one.
No.
Simulated sine waves?
Not a simulated one, a real one.
How much
Yeah.
are they? Like $200?
No, they can go for the same price range. It's not that. It's just check for that specific detail. It is very
Okay.
important.
It's an
Sine
extra
wave.
level of filtering that gets done.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Another,
Isolation.
another important thing to think when it's something that's very important like this, that you don't want it to stop. Regular UPSs are standby UPS, which means when you're plugged in the wall, you're running off electricity. And when the power goes out, it switches to the battery. If the flicker is just like a real fast flicker, you can actually lose that device that is plugged in, because the power is out and it's going to switch to the battery, and before it has a chance to switch to the battery, it's like screeching to a halt and say, oh, power's back, bam. Yes, it's all done in split seconds, but split seconds, sometimes a device will stop working. So
I'll tell you what, though, I think that's less of an issue now than it used to be. A lot of devices are, first of all, the UPSs are incredibly quick, but the devices are a lot more forgiving. And I would especially assume the devices that Katie's using. I mean, these are not this is not cheap Chinese garbage. I mean, these are probably over-engineered devices.
I was about to say, then what am I supposed to do if both ways?
Well, no, I mean, the way that we always used to solve it is to get a true UPS. A true UPS means that it is running off the battery all the time.
Well, that's going to be simulated sine wave, because you're not going to get real sine wave off of a battery.
Actually, you do. It
Even with the
depends
inverter?
what you get.
Doesn't the inverter provide that?
Yeah.
It's still it's a simulated. It's simulating it from the inverter. It's not true sine waves coming from your power grid.
But you want that because you want to have the full isolation.
That's simulated sine wave.
Yeah, but that's okay because you're regenerating a new sine wave. Right?
So I have a basic question.
Yeah, well,
if is it beneficial to spread out? So if right now I have a printer room and all my printers are right there. But if I move some of the printers to another outlet location, does that lessen the burden?
So here's
potentially.
It's probably, you probably have a 25 amp, or you probably have a 15 amp. Is it a spare bedroom?
Yeah.
You probably have a 15 amp breaker in that bedroom. Until you flip the breaker, you're fine. And when you do, you could probably put a 20 or 25 amp breaker in its place and be fine. These printers, what printer model do you have?
Bamboo P1P. Yeah, I don't think they use a lot of power. And the only reason I say that is because my electricity bill hasn't skyrocketed. But I'm getting to the point where
they use between 160 and 260 watts. I mean, these things are super low power. A light bulb is using more electricity than a P1.
Yeah,
a traditional
really?
light bulb.
And here is the other thing you need to think of. You said Costco has a big UPS. What is a big UPS?
It's like a tower.
Never mind the size.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I,
you see?
I don't know. I just was at Costco and I saw the
Right. What you have
battery.
to look at is, okay, I have six
That's why I'm talking
printers.
to y'all.
I have 6 printers. Each one is using 200 watts. That's 1,200 watts.
Uh-huh.
And
But you got to also look at inrush current.
yes, that's right.
Anything that happens when starting a printing process or something, because you got to rate that in too.
Yeah. So you have to get, if you're going to put them all on the same UPS.
No, I was going to buy multiple ones. Like I was going to put maybe 2 on one battery backup.
Then
no, way more than that.
That's overkill.
Oh, is it? Listen, that's why I'm talking to y'all. I don't know anything.
Not really, guys, because the way Katie is going, she'll buy a new printer soon, so it'll be 3 on each.
Yeah, I have 6, but like I said, I want to get 10, and so here's the deal. Like from a business standpoint, I have a room in my house. Can it house 10 printers? Maybe. And then the alternative is to rent a space or find a space. It is so expensive to rent spaces.
Don't do that.
I know. It's astronomical.
Katie,
I think it might, what?
Katie, if worse comes to worse and you are actually going to keep that room for the printers and you're running out of power, then you get an electrician to come and run you another outlet from the breaker box, which will be like doubling the power that you have in that room.
Yeah, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get a bigger house. That's what I'm gonna do.
So at this point, do what the guys are saying. Just until you flip a breaker, then don't worry about it.
Okay, good. Because I don't want to be irresponsible and then all
Yeah.
of a sudden start a house fire.
I'm reading the power consumption on this P1P. It's incredibly efficient. When it's printing fast, which is 250 millimeters per second, which is a fast print, which, Katie, I'm sure you're not printing at that speed. You're probably lower. Its peak power consumption is 260 watts.
What about amps?
That includes the bed being heated, the tip being heated, and everything associated with it moving around. It's pretty impressive.
Are they mentioning how many amps it's taking?
They're not,
Okay.
which is
All right.
obviously part of the
There's an
having a
equation. Yeah.
breaker.
Katie,
Yeah.
Katie, order something called a kilowatt.
Kilowatt.
Or
You
borrow
can
one
buy
from
it on-
Amnon.
You can buy it online, borrow one from Amnon. It's a device you plug in
Oh,
that
to
stands
measure?
between the line cord and the outlet, and it can record power consumption over time. But you can look at how many watts it's drawing. You can look at the frequency. Everything is saved on this device. It's
Yeah.
great for measuring overtime or instantaneous usage per watt,
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and for kilowatt also.
that's right. I would just suggest there are smart options today that would log everything to either your phone or your computer. So, I'll try to find something during the show.
Thanks. Yeah, it's been crazy. I've been so busy. I don't know how many shows I'm gonna be able to do on Sunday because not only am I working full time, I'm running a small business practically full time, and I'm going to school part time. So like it's been madness. But
Yeah, but this is a priority. What I mean, the part of being an adult, Katie, is having your priorities set, and obviously this is a priority.
Yeah.
converting my house into a printing workshop.
A makerspace.
A makerspace. I will say though that the class I'm taking a marketing class, and I've learned loads, and that's probably one of the biggest contributors to why some of my videos went viral, and then I got all these orders. So it was like a double-edged sword. It's like I'm taking these classes to learn, and then it's like prospering on the side. I'm like, I'm just like scrambling trying to keep up.
You don't want to hire one of these vultures that cold calls you about helping you with your marketing?
No, I think I got it.
Yeah, it's I got stuff all the time because I have a small business about. I have no internet presence. I don't want an internet presence. I'm technically 90% retired.
Well, hey, I'll
Spence,
do it
can I
for
build you a
free.
website for your online business?
Absolutely, for my 10% online.
Well,
can't
it
wait.
helps that I work in a marketing department, but I work on the producer side as like producing content, not necessarily the think tank behind it. So the class is great because it helps me figure out like how to sell a product, like what's the psychological thing behind it to get people to buy your product. So it's been very enlightening and educational. Because I can make pretty pictures all day long, but are they effective? And are they going to get me sales? That's the hard part.
Good.
I got approached by somebody saying that they wanted to help me start a full-fledged handyman business, hiring people. And I said, I never hired anybody because I could never find anybody I trusted.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I said, there's no way I'm going to go into doing that. And I don't want to do that at this point in my life. If I thought of that 15 years ago, I thought of it, but I worked for somebody else for a while and I saw what they went through. You could make a killing at this stuff now because I get calls from people at Cisco. I'm on their list somehow. That they call me looking for things to do, and I always call them back or text them back, and they say, "Oh, so thank you so much for actually getting back to me," because nobody does.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Talking about customer satisfaction and reliability, that's like the biggest thing. Like you can do a job that's okay, but if you're on time and you're respectful and you communicate, people will take that over the hassle any day.
Yup.
Has anybody ever heard of a Tapo Smart Hub?
A who?
A Tapo Smart Hub?
I don't even know
It's a
what that is.
TP-Link
I
product.
did not.
So while Katie's making millions selling her stuff on TikTok to the Chinese government.
You
I'm
mean
shopping
selling
at
my
these.
soul to TikTok?
Shopping at these Amazon. Two of these Amazon like bargain bin places have opened down here, where they just take a bunch of Amazon returns and throw them in a feeding trough, and a bunch of people run in and buy a bunch of crap. So I go when it's not crazy. And so I went in there the other day, and I got this smart IO hub. I haven't done any research on it yet, for $2. So I gotta do some investigation as to, it's a TP. It says it's branded as a TP Link product, but
I'm on their page. Yeah, it is.
their brand is called Casa. So I don't know if this is a company that they acquired. I'm not really sure what the deal is, but it says it does. Here you go, Gal, just to trigger you. It does advanced home automation. Straight out of his hops.
Okay.
It's got a chime built into it, and it can do up to 64 devices. It's Wi-Fi based, I believe.
They've got a H500 also coming soon.
Oh, so they're still in business.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
interesting.
On their page, it says smart home base, Tapo H500 coming soon.
Well, there is one
not-
interesting feature on the back. Listen to this, Gal. Local mode. With the Tapo hub, sub-devices and home automations work consistently within the LAN, regardless of network connection. So that's pretty cool.
That is. Look, no other logo of either Z-Wave or Zigbee or Matter.
No, it's Wi-Fi.
Yeah, Matter is Wi-Fi. So
Oh,
Yeah, so supporting Matter and OnViv.
yeah, that's the kicker. I think it's the new protocol, Matter.
this doesn't look like a new device. I don't think this is a new device, though. I could be wrong.
Well,
I assumed
the
it was
new
old.
protocol is now 5 years in the making. So
Okay.
it might have been, yeah. So
Yeah, it's a
we're
pretty,
just starting to see stuff.
It's a
It
pretty
can-
small little device. It looks like a doorbell chime that you get for a a Eufy or a Blink doorbell.
It does. So with I'm looking at the H500 now. Does the other one have a? It says here delivers massive, secure, free local storage, built-in 16 gig eMMC, expandable
No,
to
none
16
of that.
terabytes via HDD SSD. I hope it's not the same way they share a drive through a router, because that's incredibly slow.
Well, I can tell you one thing. Looks like Tapo has a built-in integration to Home Assistant.
I see that. Yeah.
So hop into their community and see what that means.
Yeah.
Might be a good thing.
Yeah, it was $2, and I was like, well, we'll see. Maybe I'll go and buy as I was talking about at the beginning, I was having an issue with this one water sensor, so maybe I'll go and buy see if I can buy, like, on eBay, a cheap water sensor that's compatible with this, and double it up. Not that I haven't really need it, but I was like, oh, it's pretty. I'm sure many people just glanced over it because it's not really it's not a device.
It doesn't do anything. Yeah.
It on itself
own.
doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, for $2, I could.
And
Okay.
even when it's not on Wi-Fi, see, it's still communicating with the balloons.
Well, I believe it connects with the devices via 900 megahertz, because all the way in the bottom of the box it says
That's
the
smart.
specific working frequency bands are 920.9 to 922.3 megahertz. So it's all internally, it's all 900 meg, and then from the hub must be where the Wi-Fi comes in.
So everything works except when you activate the microwave.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. maybe that's my issue. My water sensor doesn't work because I've been
Eating
running
too
my-
much hot pockets.
well, I keep my microwave running 24/7 to keep the
Yeah.
I'm trying to block a potential solar flare. So I run my microwave all the time
Dude,
just to make sure
And it
to
also
make-
kills
that's
all those.
amateur. Amateur hour. You need to wear your tinfoil hat.
Oh, I wear that when I go to sleep. I
okay.
make sure I sleep with that.
It kills all the bugs that are in your house. The microwave running. It makes them just all static when they're listening to what you're saying.
No, I think it just they become luminescent and then you can catch them.
I was about to say, when you said bugs, I was thinking of flies.
So I'm looking at the difference between the H200 and the H500. The H500 has AI. It has
Right.
facial recognition and a bunch of other features. And the other, the Matter integration, and it's pretty much the same idea, but the next generation. That's why you got this one cheap, because they're going to be fire sailing the 200.
Remember there was a TV show, I don't remember if it was American or Canadian, about this small town where there's like this some inventor, something built like a smart home, and that smart home is like solving crime, something like that. I don't remember. But
Harry Mason?
starting all of the tropes from all of these TV shows from 70s up to the 90s, right? Is suddenly coming up as reality. It's so
So I remember there was a horror movie about a smart home that went crazy and started killing the family.
This isn't a horror movie. Spence told me about this movie probably 10 years ago, when I was probably like 11. Project, come on, Spence, help me. Project Colossus, Project Colesis.
Oh, Corbin, the
Colossal Project or something.
yeah, something.
It's a good movie.
A 50s movie.
Yeah, it is a 50s movie. Yeah, very good movie.
Colossus, the Corbin Project.
Yes, very good movie about essentially a salient AI that holds a guy and his girlfriend hostage or something like that.
The only way he can communicate is he made a deal that when he's having sex with his girlfriend, that the sensors turned off, and that's how he gets word in and out of the government to try to defeat the
yes,
yeah.
That's a classic film. That's a really good movie.
I think
It was
the movie
well
I'm
done.
thinking of is called something like "My House is Trying to Kill Me" or something.
Was that Tyler Perry movie?
Probably, I don't know. It's like
my
vaguely in the back
barbershop
of
was
my
trying to
mind.
kill me.
Huh. Yeah, we're living in it. We're living in it right now.
Living in the future, y'all. It's okay. My printers will kill me long before my house does.
All right.
So, one more thing about TP-Link before we go. I'm looking on their page, and I've never seen this side of TP-Link. There's something called OMADA, where they have a bunch of certification and training, and they've also got something called VIGI or VIGI surveillance, which is it shows using their networking tools and cameras, but it's like a very sophisticated, commercial presence. VGI prevent law. Oh, it's for oh wow, this is cool. It's got theft prevention technology
For stores and such.
Yeah. And it's also guest safety. So it's probably good for hospitality.
Interesting. Yeah,
surveillance
TP-Link makes
for
a bunch of cool
retail.
stuff.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, Nick bought a $2 hub, and he's going to open a bed and breakfast now because of that.
Yeah, I am. I'm going to convert my house into a bed and breakfast, and I'm going to go panhandle on the side of the road. I'm going to go actually move. I'm going to move in with Katie and help her with all of her. Oh, help you with all of your. I'll be a live-in worker.
I forget about the bed and breakfast. I'll turn your house into a factory.
So what do I get? So you're going to turn my house into a factory? What do I get?
No, you're going to be a worker. You're going to be under Katie Incorporate.
Katie Incorporated. Katie Inc.
Yeah.
Nick, you need to have several automated pet washers. So
they have one. They have the whole set of those down here.
They
They're called
have
the
them.
K9000s.
Yeah. So they literally
K9000.
put the
K9000. That's what they're called. They're a bunch. They're a set of dog washers that they have in front of stores and stuff. It's called the K9000
I
dog
saw the
washers.
one of the trailers just the other day.
Yeah, very very
Yeah,
popular.
that actually sounds like a trailer that we saw for the T2
Yeah.
T2000.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, down here you've got your dog. You're bringing them out in the water, into the ocean, and the beach, and all that stuff. So it's very 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 popular.
So
Good times.
everybody has Prime, right?
Yes.
Did you know
Yeah.
the thing that they added now is Grubhub? Did
Well,
you hear
it's
about
not
that?
now. It's for a few years now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
I use it.
now it is
No, they're just
permanent.
re-advertising it. It's like for a couple of years now.
Oh, okay. They said that they did it for a trial, and now it's
Okay, then I was part of that trial for a few years. I can tell.
so it's included, and they said that what is not included is the updates to the Echo device that you're gonna have to pay when it comes out. When they come out with that, it's gonna be charged separately. They're upgrading the Echo device with AI and this and that and the other. So
I think they'll find people. I think they'll be willing to pay for that upgrade.
yeah, it
I
says
do not
that
see a lot of trust of AI anywhere, not just online, like anywhere.
there.
People who are not tech savvy, people who are tech savvy, like nobody's promoting AI as the best thing that will happen to your home. People are talking about AI as good thing for business, but nothing about privacy, nothing goes in that direction. I'll be surprised if people buy in, and I will be disappointed if they buy into it at this point. It's too early.
Well, listen to this here. A survey of 12,000 people in 6 countries: Argentina, Denmark, France, Japan, the UK, and the US, found that very few people are regularly using AI products like ChatGPT. Unsurprisingly, remember, it's unsurprisingly, the group bucking the trend are young people ages 18 to 24.
Makes sense.
Which, why does it make sense? Normally, these
'Cause-
people jump on it.
18 to 24. It's your youngest generation of people that are
Yeah.
they're engulfed in technology. I mean,
I
they're-
understand.
I
This
understand
is,
it better than you.
but this
Why are you
is,
surprised?
but this is the group that is bucking the trend of using ChatGPT. They don't want to use ChatGPT.
No, wait. Read your story back again.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. It found that very few people regularly using product like ChatGPT, and unsurprisingly, not surprisingly, unsurprisingly, the group bucking the trend are young people ages 18 to
Yes.
24.
Bucking the trend of not using it. That's what it's saying. Bucking the trend of those that are
You know
not,
what? You're
that are not
right. I didn't
overall
hear that.
using
I'm
the
surprised.
chat GPT. And unsurprisingly,
Okay,
young
that's
people
true.
18 to
That's true.
24 are using
That's
ChatGPT
right.
and
Otherwise,
AI.
it would be surprisingly.
It would
the
be
group.
surprising,
Yes, you're
correct.
right. You're right. Okay, I stand corrected. I thought this was didn't make sense. What do you mean?
Yeah,
that-
it wouldn't have under the other side. It
Yeah.
definitely would not have.
Yeah. Now, who still has Chromebooks? Katie's not here. Think she
I
does.
don't think I have one. Anymore.
Google is introducing the Gemini AI chatbot to Chromebook Plus models, enhancing features like text writing, image editing, and hands-free control. Here are a few of the top new features coming to Chrome OS. The first notable feature is Help Me Write, which works in any text box. Select text in any text box and right-click. You'll see a text box. You'll see a box next to the standard right-click context menu. you can ask Google AI to rewrite the selected text, rephrase it in a specific way, or change the tone. The author say I tried to use it on a few sentences in this story, but did not like any of the suggestions it gave me. So your mileage may vary. Or better,
Sure.
I'm better writer than Google's AI. Who knows?
I'll tell you
But-
what, the rewriting I every once in a while I do a lot of stuff for our local Republican Party, so I'm putting out a lot of like press releases and newsletters, and sometimes you run into a paragraph that just doesn't. You look at it for a while and it doesn't flow very well, and I found it super effective putting in a paragraph and saying rephrase this and make this more conclusive or make this flow in a better manner, and it does a really good job at that.
Do you ever use it to make it shorter? Like
Yeah. I dumped in about 6 paragraphs of text earlier this week and said compress this to 2 sentences, and it did a great job with it.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why can't they use that in courtrooms now? They can take the defense and the prosecution and just compress it down to 2 sentences for both.
Yeah, well, with
sides.
the new kangaroo court legal system we've
Yeah.
got, I mean, it
Why
pretty
not?
much doesn't matter at that
Yeah.
point. Just
The coin-operated legal system.
Yeah, it's like
Nicholas, did you say that there are specials? You have specials?
there will be momentarily.
Oh, okay. It's fine.
Let's do one more
Fine.
story.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I got an email from T-Mobile that they're going up $5 a line,
What are you paying now?
and I'm paying. I think it's 120 plus 25, which my friend John is on our plan, so he doesn't have to get his own account.
120 for how many lines?
3, and that's
So
the
40
fourth
bucks a
one.
line?
Yeah, $40
Okay.
a line. Then this is a 4th line, but it's 25. And then I'm still paying for the phone that I purchased last year when my phone went bad. So it's the total amount is 160 some right now, but this is going to go down 12 something when I'm done with that, another month or 2. But anyway, I said, well, now it's going to be $20 more because
Yeah.
it's 4 lines. Yesterday I went to Costco to pick up something, and as I'm walking, I see the AT&T stand. So I stop and I said, guys, I've got a quick question, and I don't need an exact answer. What will it cost for 4 lines? So, of course, he started asking, well, what kind of lines and who do you, how much do you pay, and blah, blah, blah. And we got into the nitty gritty of the whole thing. Any way you look at it, with the fact that we have internet with AT&T, and after all, it's going to be $106 through Costco. He said the reason why it's because it's through Costco.
You need to go
And-
do that because my AT&T bill is going up.
Well,
Yeah.
and he said that this is for 3 years. And after 3 years, it's going to be 127 or something like that. It had all the numbers. And that includes Hannah getting a brand new iPhone and turning in hers. I'm
Oh,
telling
nice.
you, she had an iPhone 7, and then she went to I believe it's a 12 or 13, like 3 years ago. What was it? The newest. But both these phones got to the point that she cannot hear. She can talk, but the earpiece is not putting out. So she has to put it on speaker always. Speaker works, but talking normally, she can't hear it. And that's the second phone that does that.
Does she have a special case on it? A case? Does she have it in a case?
I don't think it's a special. I mean,
Because I know somebody who had this problem, and it turned out that the built-in glass that when you put it in the case, it had a cover. There was no hole.
yeah, but I mean, this worked
Or the-
fine until about 2 months ago.
So ask her if she changed cases,
Okay, I'll ask her.
because that problem was there was no hole over the ear speaker.
Interesting. Okay, I'll ask her. That's a good point. She went to the Apple store and they told her that they have to reset the phone to factory and to see if it's. I mean, she
Yeah.
pays monthly for warranty, and but because it's controlling her insulin and everything in the phone, she's got special things going on. She said, I can't do it. I just I just can't do it. And
I would argue if that's the case that she should drop her warranty coverage, because the first step minus physical damage is going to be them doing a factory reset
yeah,
every
well,
single time.
yeah, but now not now, because what she can do is she can get the new phone and then do this phone. I'm hoping.
How much did you say the AT&T was going to be for
I
your
think
bill?
I think it said 106. There was a guy that was learning and he came up with $120 some dollars, and then the other guy that was overseeing him says, just a second, let me show you, it's less than that, he forgot something. And he figured it all out and he said, here it is, $106.
Is that for new customers only?
Probably.
Well, I am a new
Guaranteed.
customer. I mean,
No, I mean,
yeah.
I'm talking because I'm not. I was
Yeah, me
saying if
neither.
I
I
can
was
get an
just thinking.
additional
I don't
possible
know.
discount.
So yeah, I don't know. This is for 3 years, he said.
And this is no different than any other. This is no different than your internet company or anything else. I mean, you jump around and get the best deal and best price that you can.
the
Well,
weird thing is,
a 3-year lock is very good.
I know that's what I was saying. I mean, with T-Mobile, it's about 3 years, and here they go.
Yep.
I was telling him, and the fact that we have fiber, he said, "Oh, you have fiber, yeah." And then he asked me, "What speed do we have?" I said, "Right now it's at 100." So, oh, so it's not fiber. I said, "Well, it comes in on the fiber. We had 500, but when the ACP, I can't remember what they call it, the discount thing ended, AT&T said, we have our own, and it is ATT Access, and that's 100 megabits. He said, well, that's not fiber. I said, yeah, it comes in on the same hardware, it's the same modem, and it's fiber connected to the house. So then I showed him, he said, oh, okay, I see, yeah. But all these things count, and it's, hey, if it saves me about $40-50 a month, absolutely. And she gets a new phone.
It's more money to spend at the club.
More money to buy 3D printers.
Enough, Katie.
One more mimosa.
But he did say that if you go out like to AT&T, it's not going to be like this. This is because of Costco.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You want to talk about Costco? I was there the other day, and I was this close to buying something, an impulse buy. They had a
3D printer?
No, almost. They had a giant ass computer monitor, 49 inches curved.
Oh, I
Dang.
saw that.
For $300 off.
Yeah.
And I was so close to buying
What
it.
was it? How much was it though?
It $750.
You see, there's no need. Gal, tell her.
It's different.
Why?
No, it was amazing. I looked it up online, and Amazon was selling the same thing for $1,200.
Wait. Why is it different than getting a big screen TV and use it as a monitor?
The DPI, the refresh rate.
Not only that, but it's monitor, so it's like really, really long, or wide, but then it has the monitor.
Oh,
I don't want a giant ass TV that's like huge, and then I have to like bend my neck. To look
okay.
up.
No, okay.
First
So
of
you're
all,
talking.
I'm not bending my neck, right? So let's. I'm sitting in front of 42-inch television, 4K, right? Its refresh rate is 60 hertz, so it's decent. I wouldn't do gaming on it. First of all, just because of the size, I wouldn't do gaming on it so close, right? But any work, hell yeah. It has
Perfect,
HDR built in, right? So when it comes to color correction and all that, if you care about that as a graphic designer, I'm sure the panel isn't top notch, but I think you can calibrate it to your needs. And you're talking about what price? Lady?
$750.
Right. Mine cost $150.
Yeah.
I don't have the space for a giant ass TV. That's the problem too. I
Maybe.
have shelving units on my wall, so I like the width, and then the height isn't ginormous either. So basically, it's what it is. It's a double monitor setup.
So it's like the one I have.
No, you don't have something like this.
Yeah, mine I have. It's like two screens side by side that are
Yeah, but
one monitor. No, mine
it
is.
was huge. I
Okay.
mean, Nick, you saw it. It looks like you're sitting. It looks like you're looking out of a what do you call it? The windshield of a car.
Yeah,
It's like-
Okay, so that's
it's got a-
wider. Yeah.
Its aspect ratio is like it's like a 21:9 aspect ratio or something like that. It's super narrow and very
Very wide, yeah.
horizontally. It's not that tall, and it's super wide and curved.
it's like it's like
um,
you're in a cockpit or something.
Yeah, and I'm sure
Okay.
I think I saw this. I think it's 100 is either 120 or 160 hertz refresh rate. So for gaming, that's definitely what you want. But to Gal's point, I mean, if you're doing work, yeah, you get a don't buy the cheapest TV because the DPI will be terrible. But you get a nice television for $100 or $200 or $200 that's got some of those features like he's talking about. Absolute.
Is it curved?
No.
TVs are not curved. No.
The
that-
curve is a game changer. I'm not
Well,
going.
mine are
back.
curved
I-
a little bit.
I don't know.
I've got
Is it
30
a game changer?
Oh yeah, yeah.
At that aspect ratio, it has to be curved because it's too wide. It's too wide and too narrow.
So Costco also had a deal, and I think that deal is still going now. But and my current monitor is 35-inch curved monitor, whatever. Also bought from Costco for like $150. And I'm never going back to a regular monitor. The curvedness, it's so nice. It's so subtle, but like when I go to work and I work on my work computer, it's just enough to like drive me crazy.
But I'll argue for you, Katie, spending $700 on a monitor for that, unless you're going to be gaming, doesn't make sense. Because the real thing that you're paying for is the high refresh rate. I mean, you're paying for 160 hertz refresh rate.
There is a little bit of an advantage for your eyes with a curved monitor, though, because you're not
Definitely.
like you look to. I have two monitors side by side. I look at the far end of either one. It's like 8 or 10 inches further away from my face. So now that might be good for your eyes to have to refocus, but that could be a fatigue thing too.
Also, I agree with that, but also I'm not getting a monitor to play video games. I'm getting a monitor to do video editing, and the having the curvedness where I always have like when I'm editing on one side of the screen and then the footage on another side, and then them not having any distortion because the screen is like keeping them at the same whatever distance from my eye, like Spence was saying. It's really nice. And again, it's so subtle that I don't think a lot of people care or need to worry about it. But I spend like 10 hours a day on my computer working on stuff that's like graphic and video editing stuff. So that starts to add up over the years.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I just pulled the specs on this monitor. It's a 240 hertz refresh rate, which is
Wow.
fantastic for gaming. It's got 1 millisecond display with AMD FreeSync. This is a gaming monitor, which is why it's $800. You could accomplish the same goal, Katie, with two 32-inch. Now there will be a little bit of a black bar in the middle, but you can get two 32-inch curved monitors for probably $400 to $500 total. Would be my
Yeah,
guess.
but I want the one big one.
She
then
likes it. She's got the money.
Yeah.
Well, obviously,
I
yeah, she's
haven't
making
bought it. I just
a bunch
said
of money
I
from
almost,
China over here. Katie
I
CCP
haven't bought
Jones.
it. Costco had a display. I stood in front of it for maybe 5 minutes because I was so entranced with it, and I seriously considered buying it. But the price tag, again, I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but the price tag is equivalent to one new 3D printer, and I'd rather have the 3D printer.
Well, then,
Fine. That's it. Good priorities. That's all.
But I said it was it would have been a huge impulse buy, and I wanted it really, really badly, but I don't need it.
it sounds like you're an adult, which is great. It's always
Sometimes.
sometimes as being an adult. Yeah, I saw it
Huh?
too. I've seen that they've had similar. It's a Samsung. It was a Samsung.
Yeah,
I
it was a
believe.
Samsung.
I've watched some videos on that monitor specific. And by the way, it's on sale on Amazon for the same price now.
Oh,
Um,
when I looked at Costco, this was like a week ago. It wasn't on sale, so they must have got in the know with the Costco thing.
Yeah. But that is the top the top widescreen gaming monitor on the market right now.
I
Did
will
you
say,
see?
Oh,
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say with seeing that one though, it makes me excited for the future because their competitors are gonna catch up and they're gonna start putting out cheaper versions or like different versions or whatever. So
Yeah.
I just have to wait.
Asus TUF TUF makes a similar style monitor. I don't believe it's as long as the other one, but there's a lot of companies that are making those very odd aspect ratio monitors. That the description of a cockpit is probably the best description of it.
That's what it felt like. I felt powerful. I felt like a mastermind, and I just put my cat in my lap, and then it'll be like evil genius.
Oh, I guess nobody saw the thing on TikTok about how to take your flat monitor and make it curved.
Put it in the microwave.
Yeah, no, it's
Take a
no,
heat gun to the
what you have
back
to
of
do
it.
is you put it out in the sun for a couple of days, and it gets so warm you can actually bend it over something, and when it cools off, it'll stay.
I don't know if that's how electronics works.
I saw a video about putting your. I don't use TikTok, but an Instagram thing on how to free up space on your iPhone, and it consists of you putting it in the microwave with some aluminum foil.
I laughed so hard because
seeing what happens with it.
some people took screenshots of the comments and they're like, "I believed you. You owe me a new phone." And the person's like, "Why in the world would you do this?"
Yeah, put a cell phone in a block of aluminum foil in a microwave. Yeah, people are real stupid. That's
No.
kind of the trend.
We are talking about Instagram, and we are talking about those who actually comment.
Hey,
Are
I comment.
usually yeah, but you comment in cynicism, and those who actually comment sincerely might be a bit too young to use the app to start with.
You'd be surprised. There's a lot of older.
Yeah, Nick,
kids.
last week you weren't here. Did you read the story?
No, I
about...
was in Tahiti last week.
Okay. Did you read the story about the AI that tells people that what to do when the cheese doesn't stick to the pizza? It says
No.
to use glue.
Oh, it's a great idea.
God.
Amazing. Yeah. So yes, the people. Anyway,
I've got some specials.
I see that.
So,
all right,
Katie, since you thought this monitor was a great idea, how about this for you? How about the standalone laptop computer harness? So I know, so you want to bring your productivity to another level. You can be in your 3D printing room and you can keep this harnessed to you the entire time. It's secure, it's mobile, it's comfortable, and you can easily take it on and off.
Interesting.
It's a great product, and I'm sure the company that made it was out of business just years after, because all of these 90s computers companies that made these weird peripherals immediately went out of business.
They're from Hawaii. You see that? So I bet you it's so you can work and be at the beach at the same time.
There you go. I'm sure the Velcro straps will feel real good on your skin with your shirt off with a bunch of sand.
Old laptops weighed 8 pounds.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure. So
they went out of business because of airbags, because people were using it in their cars, and then the airbag would go off. And
you can just imagine the hot CEO in the mid 90s at a company walking around with this, everybody thinking he's just the biggest douchebag in the world walking around with this thing.
He's so connected.
Yeah, doing his TPM reports or whatever. Whatever nonsense.
Well, I'm gonna have to ask you to come in tomorrow.
Exactly, for working for the weekend. All right, let's go through a couple of items in here. We've got some pretty good specials this week. Let's start off over at Best Buy with the Asus VivoBook 14. This is rocking a Core i3 1215U, so it's a 12th generation Core series. It's 2 generations old at this point, but still a very modern, suitable processor. Gal's favorite, 8 gigabytes worth of memory, which is somehow still bog standard on laptops. This, you can add another SODIMM to it, so easily upgradable if you want to do that, if 8 gigs isn't enough for you. I bought a laptop 2+ years ago that had 8 gigabytes of memory, and I had every intention to put another 8 gig stick in it, and I will at some point, but I haven't yet. I just have not, I haven't needed it. I haven't had any issues where I don't use it very often. I'll note it just kind of travels around in my backpack with me, but I've been very happy with it. So, but the biggest issue on this one, very small hard drive, 128 gig SSD. So if you're using a lot of cloud stuff, maybe you use Google Drive as your storage, or Dropbox or OneDrive or something else, this would fit pretty well. Normally $429, which is a terrible deal. But for $229, not a bad price at all. It's 14-inch, so it's decently portable. It doesn't have, obviously, a numpad on it, but Asus laptops are pretty good. My last big laptop purchase was an Asus. I was incredibly happy with it. It just aged out. So that's available over at Best Buy for $229. Over at Costco, maybe Katie was also mesmerized by this when she was staring at her monitor. This is a 65-inch QLED 60 hertz Hisense smart TV. This is normally $600, and it is on sale for $400 via Costco, both delivery and pickup. So you can order this, and it's got Fire TV built into it. So it's got that built in, so you don't have to worry about connecting an external device if you've got any issues with it. And it is quantum dot, so it is QLED in terms of its pixel display. So check that out, available over at Costco. Also at Costco, lots of stuff there this morning. This is a great battery backup. This is the CyberPower 1350 VA. It is simulated sine wave, what we were talking about at the beginning of the show. If you have your computer and modem router, internet connected devices all in a similar area, I would highly recommend you buy one of these. You not only can connect your computer to it, but you can connect your modem from your cable provider, internet provider, your router. And then when you do have those brief power blips, you don't have to worry about everything getting disconnected in your house and everything shutting off. 1350 VA, it's 810 watts worth of running power, and it does connect to your computer, and it's got some USB ports on it, which you might think, oh, that's stupid. I have my Blink hub for my cameras connected to the USB port on my my UPS, so that it's got a USB port on it, works perfect for that. USB A and Type C, and you can connect it to a computer as well, so that you can keep track of the power management and all that fun stuff. It's normally $129, $20 off, on sale for $109 over at Costco. Put this in here, God. This is a pretty good deal. This is it's a refurb, so keep that in mind. But this is an HGST UltraStar 10 terabyte SATA drive for $70. 10 terabytes worth of storage for $70. This is coming from a company on eBay that does hard drive resales. So they have 113,000 reviews on eBay and have a 99.7% positive. Now, anytime you're buying a refurbished device, especially a hard drive, that does come with risk, does come with some potential issues. But for $70, if you've got a backup solution, it seemingly is worth rolling the dice.
Let's put it this way. if you're building something, some sort of storage with redundancy where you have multiple disks, I would go with this, then go with a $200 drive.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah, just
Absolutely.
buy 5 more, right? And you have redundancy. Not only that, you forgot to say, I think they're selling this refurb, but they're selling it with a year's warranty, right?
5 year. According
No,
to
right.
I'm on the webpage now. So
No, yeah. They're selling it with a very long warranty as well.
Well-
So this is a steal if they will still exist, right? When you need that warranty.
Yeah.
We
So-
don't know about how they fulfill the warranty, but it does come with a warranty.
Here's the thing: the warranty is great. The reason that you want to pay a caution on this is the warranty might get you a new hard drive, but if your hard drive dies and you lose all your data, you're SOL.
That
Right?
is why I'm saying
yes.
only if you're putting it in some sort of storage where you have redundancy, right? If this is for your gaming computer or for your main driver, no, definitely no.
But I would argue for a secondary drive for your video games, which you download off of Steam and are like none of the data is stored locally. This is
Maybe.
perfect for something
Yeah,
like
if you
that.
have zero data on it, I
Yep.
would agree. Yeah,
Absolutely.
nothing that you create should be on this if it's the sole drive.
Correct.
If you have multiple drives, then hell yeah.
Hell yeah is the word. $69.99 available over at eBay. They've sold 122 of them in the last 24 hours. So check that out. This next device, everybody needs to have one of these. I don't care who you are, how technically savvy, how mechanic savvy you are. If you don't have one of these lithium ion jump starter packs in every single one of your vehicles, I
Shame
think
on you.
with the price that they are. Well, I'm not going to go that far. We can't assault our listeners like that. These things are freaking awesome. These are these lithium ion jump starter packs. These things popped onto the market in wide scale, maybe 5 or 6 years ago is when these really started popping up. This is the NextPow G17 S40. And not only is it a lithium ion jump starter pack, but it is also a 60 watt power delivery device, meaning that you can quick or fast charge a cell phone, a laptop, or something like that if you are on the go and you forget your battery backup, or you forget a backup charger, you have some issue where you need this. This is a 4,000 amp hour peak jump starter. This is the number one new release in jump starters on Amazon. NextPow has existed for a while. They make a bunch of other sizes of this. So check this out. It's $50, 50% off. Well, actually, no, it's normally $130. So it's 23% off on Amazon. Then there's a 40% coupon. Then there's another 10%, another $10 off when you add it to your cart. So $50 for this. It's available over at Amazon. Next up, I thought this was cool. Have you guys ever seen anything like this? A portable charger for the Apple Watch?
I have one.
Okay,
Not
so
this
it's
one, but I
it
have
looks
one.
like a little keychain, and that's kind of how they sell it. And if you are somebody that is traveling often, and you're not charging your watch overnight, or you're going on a multi-day trip and you don't want to lug around the cable and charger, this thing is pretty neat looking. So it looks like it's got a little USB-C cable that it charges with so that you can plug it into the wall and use it as a powered charger, or you charge up the base and then you just throw this in your backpack or your purse and click it on and it charges. Spence, you have something
I
similar
have
to
the
this.
same form factor. The only difference is it doesn't have the ribbon cable,
Uh-huh.
but it has a USB-C. You take the cover off, you plug it into USB-C, it charges it up. And I did use it a couple of times. It helped me out when we were on our trip to New Zealand because we were out the whole day and I forgot to charge my watch overnight because I usually
Yep.
wear it when I sleep. And so I was out there and my watch was going to go dead on me about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I took this thing out and I charged it.
Yeah, so this is pretty cool. It's on sale for $13, which
That's
is a hell
great.
of a deal.
I think I paid about
Um,
20 something for mine.
Yeah, one of these prices, is it the best product in the world? No, but it's $13. So if it works for 2 or 3 years and dies, it's cost of doing business. That's available over at Amazon. Over at Woot, which is Amazon's wholesale side, they have a copy, Windows only copy of Microsoft Office Professional Plus 2019. This is on sale for $20 lifetime purchase. You get Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, OneNote, Publisher, and Access. So you're getting all of the physical downloads. Well, not physical. There's no CD, but this does not come with any of the 365 stuff. So you would install this on a computer or a set of computers and use it on there. This is not Office 365. None of the cloud functionality built in with this.
Which is a good point. I don't want it. I don't want the cloud functionality.
So check that out. Woot, $20. And then 2 final items this morning. This is the Anchor 563. This is their 10-in-1 docking USB-C docking station. You get a couple of things with this. You get 2 HDMI ports on it. Both of them support 4K. One of them supports 4K at 30 hertz, the other 4K at 60 hertz. You get a gigabit Ethernet jack, a 100-watt max power delivery, so you charge your laptop through this device. And then you get a USB-C port, which supports 5 gigabit, 2 USB type A ports, and an SD/micro SD card slot. All of that for $48. That's available over at Amazon. I think everybody knows that Anchor makes good products.
Yep.
And folks tend to be very happy with those products. So you can check that out over at Amazon. And then finally, if you are looking for a level 2 EV charger, this company called Deco Home has got their level 2 EV charging station on sale. In most cases, you're probably going to need to hire an electrician to install this, depending on what the code or regulation is where you live. If you're suitable enough, you can do this yourself. But this is not something that plugs into a regular outlet.
Yeah, you
will
plug
likely
it.
have to run.
You plug it into your dryer outlet, but you have to drive your car into the laundry room.
Fortunately, when your laundry room's in your garage, like mine is, this thing works. In many cases, you would want to run a separate circuit for this. That's kind of the use case for something like this. But you get up to 40 amps at 240 volts for charging. And it comes with a couple of different plug accessories, the regular J1772, and then it comes with the Tesla plug as well. So it's on sale for $209. That does expire tomorrow. So I don't know. I will admit I don't know anything about this company. It just looked like a pretty decent deal. So do some research on it. But $209 for a level 2 charger is a pretty good buy.
To get 40 amps, you're going to have a 50 amp circuit.
And
exactly, yes.
And that level 2 means it takes 4 days to charge, right? That thing is little. Look, if the sizes are correct.
No, it's not that little. It mounts to the wall of your garage. This is not I'm sure the picture is not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm looking at the plug.
It's not a battery backup. It's just, all it is a conditioner that takes 50 amps and gives you a 40 amp controlled, monitored circuit. That's all. It's the intelligence of the connection that's important. Yeah.
It's a lot cheaper from what I hear that to have a charging station installed at your house.
You'll call Buttigieg. He's got the money all set aside.
$7.5 billion.
Yeah, and they built 2 charging stations.
Expense. They built 8. So
8.
Get your,
I feel so much better.
$119 million per charging station at the current cost for what they've built. So that's specials. Nice. Check it out.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
Very, very, very nice.
On that note, I have got to go get some outdoor work done. And before it gets too hot, I am going to run and start working on that.
Mow the lawn.
Fortunately, it's not the lawn. I've
Oh.
got some outdoor rearranging and some pressure washing to do.
Okay. All right.
So
Well,
Does it involve going and swapping out your furniture with your neighbor?
no,
No.
no. Fortunately, not. This week. I'm actually going to build an outdoor couch out of some 2x3s, and I picked up some cushions off Facebook Marketplace yesterday. Found a nice design online with a nice chop list, so that'll be the project for the week.
nice.
Yep.
Nice.
We want pictures.
I can provide.
All right, Nick.
Alrighty, gents and
Bye.
gals.
Take care.
Have a great week. Talk to you guys later.
Talk to
See
you.
you.
919-518-9773. Call in if you have any questions. Let's see what we have here. A widespread outage affecting over 600,000 routers connected to Windstream Kinetic broadband service left customers without internet access for several days last October, according to a report by security firm Lumen Technology, Black Lotus Labs. Now, Windstream, I don't think you get Windstream to your house. They're not providers like that. They are for business. This is amazing. But this is from last October. It's just coming out. The incident, dubbed Pumpkin Eclipse, is believed to be the result of a deliberate attack using common commodity malware known as Chalubo to overwrite router firmware. Windstream, which has about 1.6 million subscribers in 18 states, has not provided an explanation for the outage. The company sent replacement routers to affected customers, many of whom reported significant financial losses due to the disruption. A few days, I mean, you are big, and this is for big companies. A few days offline. That's outrageous.
Plus, it gets worse. The longer the outage, the worse the consequences are.
Yep.
Because your
Yep.
reputation goes down the toilet.
It's just
Did they say? So there's nowhere they say what the routing infrastructure is, whether it's a manufacturer.
they did not say
Related?
anything. I'm surprised I guess they had to report it to the powers, what happened, but it didn't make it out to the media, so we didn't know about it.
It's kind of like data breaches. We don't find out till a year later.
And talking
Well, I think
What?
it was. It's just what happens now is that the identification of the ISP became public,
oh,
or somebody figured it out, because the report seems to be, yeah. I'm trying to see.
what?
For a long time, they couldn't figure out who the ISP that was hit was.
Okay.
Basically, it bricked like 1.6 million routers.
They say 600,000 in this story. In this story. No,
Well,
they
this is
have
from
they
Ars
have
Technica 3 days ago. So I'm thinking you're reading the same thing. So
yeah, they have about 1.6 million subscribers, but not all of them
Right.
apparently were affected.
Oh, right. Yeah. A minimum of 600,000.
Yeah. It's any way you look at it, it's bad.
Yep. Interesting.
All right, and I was talking about T-Mobile. Another story about T-Mobile. They said Tuesday that T-Mobile is planning on acquiring most of U.S. cellular, including stores, some of the wireless operating spectrum, and its customers, in a deal worth $4.4 billion. The deal includes cash and up to $2 billion in debt. So if you are a U.S. cellular customer, there's a good chance that you're going to become a T-Mobile customer.
But isn't US Cellular already working on top of T-Mobile's infrastructure?
I have
Like,
no
Probably.
idea.
I don't think it'll affect the end customers in terms of service, right? It just means they'll need to
Pay more.
at one time renegotiate. Doesn't
Yeah, well,
sound like
maybe.
US Cellular was one of those budget providers for a long time. That's their commercials on radio are constantly talking about save so much percentage over your regular.
Yeah.
Say we use the same infrastructure, so you know they were definitely advertised as a bargain provider.
And we talked about YouTube and their policy for ad blockers. So YouTube's latest move against ad blockers involves skipping videos straight to the end or muting audio for users with ad blockers enabled.
I
This
think that's a
follows,
good strategy.
huh?
I think that's a good strategy. Like
Yeah.
part cynicism, but part reality here, right? If YouTube doesn't want me to watch that video because I'm not paying, then they probably saved me about 20 minutes anyway. So
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Yeah,
So
I-
it's
I
interesting.
have YouTube Premium and I share it with my daughter, and I think it's worth it just because I went back to using an account that didn't have it, and I was like, oh my god, how did I put up with this before?
Yeah, a lot of-
we have the premium because we pay for their music service. So I just added a few dollars in the family account and made it premium as well. And yes, that it solves most of the annoyance on the mobile device, right? I'm pretty sure ad blockers will figure out how to bypass everything, so I'm not too worried about
Yeah,
that.
it's a whack-a-mole. The thing is that a lot of people don't know if they have ad blockers. Because I sometimes people ask me a question and I said, "Well, do you have an ad blocker?" I don't know.
Yeah, that
So
usually
this
means
would be a
no.
good test.
Yeah, but
Oh,
that
go
usually
go to
means
YouTube
no.
and play a video. Can you play it?
Yeah. I will say, you have like YouTube does not make it easy to not use ad blockers because on my work computer I don't have ad blockers, and I was just trying to watch a short 1 minute video to troubleshoot an issue. There was 2 minutes of ads. 2 minutes. And
But let me
Wow.
ask you this: why don't you have an ad blocker? I understand it's your work computer, but why not?
because to install, I don't know. I just don't have it on my work computer. I don't. I usually work from home, and when I work in the office, I don't know. I don't think about it, and so then I just don't watch the YouTube video. I just go to ChatGPT and ask, and I just don't watch videos. But the bottom line is that YouTube is not making it easy to want to watch that. I'll sit there and I'll watch a 20-second, 30-second ad, but when the ads are longer than the content I'm trying to watch, that's absolutely ridiculous.
No. They look. They need to make money.
But
Well.
Do they?
I'm never against needing to make money. It's the we're not making enough claim, right? That drives this offense. It's becoming offensive.
Yeah.
Right?
It's not like they're struggling. They're making billions of
No,
dollars.
right.
That's the point, right?
Yeah.
That's when we could make 2 more cents a minute, right? That's that's the part of business that I never understand. Look, I understand that I'm not running my own business right now, right? So maybe it's something, but even as a person, right? It's not about, oh, I can squeeze just a bit more, right, out of something, and these something are human beings, right? And there's never a thought of, okay, let's say I will drive a bit more profit out of people, but there's never a thought of where will that take people's behavior, right? Because it's all about affecting their behavior outside of YouTube as well. And that thought seems to never go into the equation. It says, let's see if we can get more money. We don't care if it'll make them more hateful. We don't care if it'll make them more aggressive. We don't care if they'll make them more spiteful. Maybe we do care. Maybe we want them to, right? But that's like my problem. There's like this complete disconnect from ethics, maybe.
Mm.
I don't know how to frame it, right? From on the one side and profit, and it always boils down to that conversation.
Yeah. But I mean, this is it's interesting. Skip to the end of the video. Here, you click on a video, it starts playing, and you skip to the very end of it.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
that's
to tell the truth, that actually sounds like misconfiguration and like not even intentional happenstance. And I'm guessing that ad blockers will also figure out how to
yeah,
circumvent that.
they always
So,
do. You're right. And talking about not letting you do something, I wonder if it wasn't. Went yesterday to fill up the tank in the truck at Costco while I was there. And I remember, I've got 2 5-gallon jugs that I need to fill up. One was the one from the back of the Jeep, which is a metal World War II jerry can. And the other one was one of those red ones. I said, yeah, let me fill them. It wouldn't let me put any gas in them. I couldn't figure it out. I finished the truck, and they were on the ground because I put them on the ground right there and I took it out and put it in the metal one, and it started and clicked. And after it clicked, I couldn't. I mean, it was like it was turned off. It wouldn't do anything. I'm looking at the display, and it's waiting for me to. I do it again and again. Nothing. It's like it's off. So I ended it and started another session. It wouldn't let me put. I said, well, maybe it's because it's metal. But then I said, well, the filler neck in the truck is metal. So what's the difference? Unless they have some kind of a sensor. So I put it in the plastic one, the red one. Wouldn't let me put anything in it. So I went to BJ's and it was fine. I don't know if did anybody have any in the audience. Anybody have any kind of experience? Is there a logic to it? Are they not wanting you to fill containers? I don't know, but it
No,
was weird. It's that's what?
I've filled the container before, but this was years ago.
Yeah, I don't know. It was really strange, and I was also. I mean, you feel kind of under pressure.
Oh yeah.
People
Sure.
are waiting in
Waiting.
line and everything. So I said, "No, I'm not going to try. I'm not going to go find somebody. The heck with it. It's the same price over at BJ's. I'll go to BJ's later."
Yeah.
But it was yeah. So and I did not have a ad blocker in the truck, so that
Yeah.
they couldn't do that.
Well, it would have jumped to the end.
Yeah. All right, Gal, open source.
mhm.
There's a big debate in the tech world over whether artificial intelligence models should be open source. Elon Musk, who helped found OpenAI in 2015, sued the startup and its chief executive, Sam Altman, on claims that the company had diverged from the mission of openness. The Biden administration is investigating the risks and benefits of open source models. Proponents of open source AI models say they are more equitable and safer for society, while detractors say they are more likely to be abused for malicious intent. one big hiccup in the debate. There's no agreed upon definition of what open source AI actually means. And some are accusing AI companies of open washing, which means using the open source term distinguishingly, disin,
You got it.
disingenuous, somebody,
Disingenuous?
disingenuously to make themselves look good. Accusation of open washing have previously been aimed at coding projects that used an open source label too loosely.
So the last part is correct. When it comes to open source and AI, it's very murky. The reason it is very murky is because unlike regular software, the model itself is part regular software that loads in a database, and the other part is the training database. And the
Okay.
training database, that has not been like that's the murky side of everything that people are discussing. So I might be able to. I can take the ChatGPT 4 code base, let's say, right? And that might even be open source. I think 4 isn't open source. Or 3.5, which is open source. Okay, I can take that, but it'll still function very differently than what ChatGPT provided through their API, because their code, while it is the same code I'm running, is using data that they have generated and is closed. I'm not saying proprietary, because that's one of the problems, is we do not see where it gets its knowledge from. So the code, the open source part of it that everybody claims they have, right? That part, interesting, but it does not explain how, or it does not. I cannot create a mimic of what the big guy is running, because I do not have access to the same database, the same knowledge that they fed this model. Okay, so, and I think that's the part of the discussion that they're talking about now. Whether it should be and whether it will be exploited, I think it has nothing to do whether it's open source or not, right? Reverse engineering has always been a key, and exploitation will always happen. And it doesn't matter that it's AI or not. I do think that open source has been proven to be better at circumventing exploitation than actually allowing exploitation. So individuals might exploit stuff with open source, but eventually, as a society, as a collective on the internet, you will see more benefit than not. When it comes to open source, it's an ideological thing, right?
Right.
It's about property. It's about but eventually I will always advocate for open source on everything, especially when things happen to come to privacy, security, trust, anything that has to do with that. And AI has a lot to do with it, because if I converse with an AI engine, right, I want to know where the data that I am feeding it will go to, right? And by making things open source, right, that can be made clear. Those who can read the source code and those who can use the source code, they can um, analyze it and say, yes, this one actually cares uh, about your privacy when you're using it, right? And if you use it locally, yeah, you can shut off all of your network connections and it'll work. But if your network connections are open, right, it does this and this and this and that, and that means that if you're okay with those actions, you can trust it, right? That's the part where open source is very important. When it has to do with your encryption, when it has to do with your data, when it has to do with reading your local stuff, yeah, you want to know what's going on. And that has nothing to do with the AI. The AI itself is what happen, how it will react to this data. So that's it's a battle of control. I don't know about Elon Musk's position on it, because I don't think he has the entire code base of Tesla, for example, for their cars, right? Open source. So while he's a big advocate of open source here, I do think there's some duplicity here. He doesn't. He's also a big advocate of business, right? And he wants to control his own business. Um, it's interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think for sure. There was one thing in what you mentioned there, right? Government. One thing I'm sure about is at this point, government doesn't understand open source at all because they can't control it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter which part of government, right? Or who's part of the politics. They do not understand.
All right. And less than 2 weeks after it was announced, Windows enthusiasts have managed to crack Microsoft flagship AI-powered recall feature to run on unsupported hardware. It says recall leverages local AI models on new Copilot Plus PCs to run in the background and take snapshots of anything you've done or seen on your PC. You can get a timeline, you can scrub through, and the ability to search for photos, documents, conversation, or anything else on your PC. Microsoft positioned recall as needing the very latest neural processing unit on new PCs, but you can actually get it running on an older ARM-powered hardware. And I mean, all this is fine, so they broke it. But my point here is, so now it's looking at every place you've been to, everything you've seen, and everything you did on your PC, and gives you like search results. But where does it say that all that information is not going to Microsoft?
That's what I'm unclear of.
Yeah. That can.
I've never. I didn't hear about recall before, so I need to dive in a bit deeper.
It says that it's Microsoft's flagship AI-powered recall feature.
Yeah. That means you need to be a fanboy if it's something new from Microsoft. So I'm not totally sure what that is, but it'll be interesting to read about it. Maybe I'll know more about it.
Okay, yeah, that'll be nice. Yep. And you were talking about, who was talking about fax?
Nick mentioned it.
Said the sound of the 90s still resonates in the German capital. Like techno music, the fax machine remains on trend. According to the latest figures from Germany's Digital Industry Association, 4 out of 5 companies in Europe, largest economy, continues to use fax machines, and a third do so frequently or very frequently. Much as Germany's reputation for efficiency and regularly undermined by slow internet connection and a reliance on paper and rubber stamps, fax machines are at odds with the world embracing artificial intelligence. But progress on the horizon in the Bundestag, the lower house of parliament, where lawmakers have been instructed by the Parliamentary Budget Committee to ditch their trusty fax machines by the end of June and rely on email instead of official communication. Thorsten Herbst, the parliamentary whip of the pro-business Free Democrats, points out one fax machine after the other as he walks through the Bundestag. He says the public sector is particularly fond of faxing, and that joining Parliament was like going back in time. I mean, yeah, we don't use fax much anymore, but a lot of offices do use faxes. And why don't use fax? It makes things, in my opinion, faster. You get it right there. Otherwise, if you need something on paper, you get it in an email and then you type it in. I mean, you print it in and you have a piece of paper. And especially when it says public sector is particularly fond of faxing, then why doesn't the government allow them to?
I think we need to rebrand faxing because I feel like the application or like the technique itself is still viable in today's day and age, but I think it has this negative connotation of being old and outdated.
Yeah.
That if we rebranded it something like AI digital travel or something, just throw the word AI in front of it. Hell, it could be AI faxing. I feel like all the machines would replace the button that says fax with AI fax.
Remote printing.
Yeah, see, this is the thing. I'm taking that marketing class. We just need to rebrand it because the idea's solid, and you're right. It solves. Like I was working with a client recently who I was trying to send documents to, and you're right. I have to upload the documents. They have to be PDFs. I have to upload them to email. Also, the person could get it, and they're gonna print it anyways because they don't work with digital files. And there was this whole big kerfuffle, and it would have been 10 times easier if I could just fax it to them. But I don't even think they have a printer that does faxing. But we worked it out. But you're right; it's still a viable form of sending information.
And a lot of businesses, yeah, they don't have fax machines, but they still fax through their scanner.
Well, they have a scanner or they have a service.
Yeah.
So
I bought a new printer, or I didn't buy it. My mom got it from me for Christmas, but it's a Brother MFC.
Yeah,
so
multifunction.
Big old printer, and it has a fax button.
Yep.
Fax, scan, and copy. And the first time I saw that, I was like, I don't ever gotta fax anything. And then I sat there and I was doing my taxes, and I was like, oh, this would be so much easier if I could fax.
There are some issues in configuring TAs to work with fax. So if you have a fax interface going through a modem, you can't necessarily send it through your, internet over IP.
I think at this point, this stuff has been solved. You don't need a special. I mean, in the early days, you needed to get a special VoIP line for faxing, and they would condition it.
What I'm saying is, it's just there may be configuration issues with knowing what to turn on and turn off to get it to work. Like
I mean,
I had settings for fax.
The offices, the doctor's offices that I helped, I mean, they went and got an MFC device, printer, scanner, fax, and they receive and send with nothing. I mean, they did the whole thing with no special thing, and it's their own VoIP. So apparently it's voice over IP. Sorry.
Oh.
And it's apparently it works. Nobody that I know is having a problem with that anymore. But yeah,
I have
I
a
guess
question. Do cell phone providers over here support fax? Because I do remember in Israel back in the day, each number basically would get like I think the voicemail, the voice inbox
yeah.
with like if you added like another dial, like an extension while the voice is answering, it basically you can leave a fax message. Then you can pull
I
it
have
and you get a PDF or something.
I don't know.
Yeah, I
There may
wonder
have been
if that what happened
there
here.
may have been improvements in the fax standard too to include signaling for voice over IP. It's
Yeah, I
just
mean, it has to
Probably.
be because I remember in the early days. You're right, Spence. You could not connect a fax machine to a regular voice over IP
yeah.
line because it just won't work. And you had to call, and they would do this, and they would do that, and
It's probably changed. I know there are a lot of places that still accept fax. Like when I have to send every year my DOT medical,
yeah.
you can email it or you can fax it
Hmm.
or you can mail it. So I always do the email. I just create a PDF and send it. And there's no problem. But you can still fax it.
Yeah. Cooler Master. We all know what it is.
Yeah.
No.
Com-
PC components, mainly fans for
Yeah.
CPUs.
it's
Oh, okay.
CPU cooling. Computer hardware manufacturer Cooler Master has confirmed that it suffered a data breach on May 19 after a threat actor breached the company website, stealing the fan zone member information of 500,000 customers. Well,
So what products do they have that would create a unique exposure?
I have no idea.
I didn't realize that I had to register my Cooler Master stuff.
No.
Wait, what about okay, and what about the overclocking stuff? So they measure that, right? And so maybe there's like a Wi-Fi connection thingy to it
Yeah,
because that's
maybe.
what they need the coolant for, right? To cool down the thingy. Yeah, I was laughing at me because
That's got nothing to do with Wi-Fi, though. No.
No, but I'm saying if they caused a breach, you're talking about a data breach, so like they hacked it, so it's got to have access to internet, no? Or am I crazy?
Oh no, this is from their database, 500,000.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the actual thing in the
No.
computer.
They breached the company's website, stealing
Oh,
500,000 customers' details.
never mind. Carry on.
I've bought
And
Cooler Master stuff, but I've never actually communicated with them for any reason.
yeah, you get it. It works. It's a fan,
Yeah,
you know.
buy it and it goes. Yeah, I guess have more expensive products you might want to, the liquid cooling stuff, you might want to register it.
Yeah, you have to have the water company to come over and turn it
That's
on.
it. Yeah.
Remember last week we talked about Spotify and that they're going to do away with the car thing and no refunds, they say, and all that. Well, they got big pushback and they said now that they will refund the car thing device if you have or the subscription.
80, you need to send them your marketing person's number so they can
You
fix
mean
it because
me?
they made a mistake there. They
Yeah.
didn't read their customers very well.
I think I interviewed with Spotify like 2 years ago. Was it Spotify? Yeah, I think it was Spotify. They were looking for motion graphic designer for their, I guess, marketing team. So they missed out.
Here's another interesting one. New York governor plans to introduce a bill banning smartphones in school. The latest in a series of legislative moves aimed at online child safety by New York top official. So everybody was fighting for, hey, let them keep phones. It's safer. They have a way to communicate if something happens at the classroom, if something happens at the school. Now it's coming a full circle, and they don't want it.
You have to look at other motives.
Of course,
besides,
yeah. There's
it's just not about protecting children. There's something else going on.
right. There's got to be. Twitch. Twitch is expected to terminate all members of its Safety Advisory Council.
Oh,
The council is a resource of 9 industry experts, streamers, and moderators who consulted on trust and safety issues related to children on Twitch, nudity, banned users, and more. So they're not
Okay,
going to have they're not going to have them anymore. So now, if they make a decision, they make it on their own, and that's it.
well, let's think about this though. What you said, because when you said getting rid of the whatever, I
Safety
thought
Advisory Council.
Yeah.
it's advisory. It's not the department, because to get rid of the department would have been catastrophic. But it sounds like
Yeah, no, it's that.
usually what happens in companies is that they pay a lot of money to get experts in temporarily to help them formulate departments and to help
Right.
them set up procedures. And then once they've done their job, they phase them out. And so I wonder,
Maybe.
like, I don't want to jump to conclusions that in your mind you read the article and you're like, oh my gosh, children are going to be at risk now because they don't have these experts. But the experts are usually coming on as consultants for a limited amount of time to help put up policies. Okay, go.
So that may
No,
very well.
I'm reading a quote. After working with many of the same core members for several years, we have brought in a new council, a new set of council members to offer fresh, diverse perspective. They just changed them.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
this
Place
this
whoever's
was
at the
not
top.
here. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so everybody
interesting.
calm down. Parents, calm down. Your children are still
Yeah.
good. Yes, they're going to be fine. They're
Like,
just
the-
swapping out.
The moment you started saying that the council consists of top tier streamers and moderator, I said, so you're letting the cat keep the protect the milk, right? It's like the cream.
Yeah, you let.
There's a liquid like that. So it's like, come on.
Well,
It's not
also,
that simple.
it's a good thing, because the topic of safety online, it's ever changing. Like, we
It's
talk
always.
about the bad guys getting smarter, and then the technology has to get smarter with it, and it's very malleable. And a company that wants to stay on top of the innovation to keep up with it needs to be adaptable. And so if they found that their current I don't know, leadership roundtable for this issue is not meeting the new standards, and they need to swap it out with other people that can bring something more to the table or different. And I bet you in a couple of years they're going to get swapped out too, because everything is just constantly changing.
Yep, and they're
So this is a
bringing
good
more
thing.
new,
I think.
new and more
So-
knowledgeable.
Yeah. So the business did something that is actually thoughtful,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the clickbait tried to show,
Yeah.
tried to make it evil.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
That's why you
that
gotta
is
watch
annoying.
out. You gotta watch out what you read.
no. I mean, this is what the article said, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
but Gal was
But there's
finding
more.
out more. Yeah,
I just looked at
yeah,
it.
great. Yeah, that makes more sense like that. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah,
They got rid of them. Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
they're being replaced, but they're not
Yeah.
there anymore.
yeah. They're not,
Yeah. Well, the article did
but there are
lie.
new ones
It
coming
just
in.
didn't
Yeah.
tell the whole truth, because it wanted those clicks and those views.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those comments.
Yep.
I don't like newspapers where you have to read to paragraph 12 before you can really find out what happened.
Babe Ruth retires? Yeah, when he hits 75, he'll retire. Like,
Katie goes, "What's a newspaper?"
hey, I
Yeah,
like newspapers. They make great stuffing for my business.
They're great for litter boxes.
Oh, Katie, when you're here next time, I found a box. I don't know where I got it, whatever, but it's got a bunch of plastic bags that
Oh.
are I don't know, maybe I would say 9 by 6,
Yeah, I'll
but
take
not
anything.
zippy. You can't seal them.
No,
They're
I'll take anything. Because I go to cons and I sell and give people bags, like put the stuff in the bag. Also, if anybody has shipping material, not necessarily boxes, but like peanuts or bubble wrap, I will gladly take that off your hands. I go through that stuff so fast.
okay. Start
I
keeping that too.
Yeah, my mom lives in an apartment complex, and in the mailroom, people will leave big bags of shipping peanuts or
Yeah,
whatever, and so she grabs them and gives them to me. So
good.
it's nice. And you talking about newspapers? I use the ads that they sent. But some companies still send out big thick magazines of their products,
Hmm.
and rip
Yep.
out the pages and use those as stuffing.
Good. Good. Recycle.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you need to tell the local postal office to send you all of the junk mail.
Yeah. Right. Well, don't get too crazy, because before you know it, I already get the previous homeowner's mail all the time, and I keep writing on it. I keep telling the post office, it's like they don't live here anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I live in this house. This is the 6th year, I think, or we're getting close to 7, and we still get mail not for the previous owner, but for the one before them.
Previous. Before we move on to topic, I want to talk about portable AC units. So, do you guys have any recommendations? Because my printer room is hot as hell because it's a printer room, and so I'm looking at getting a portable AC unit
Don't
to
get a
help.
portable. Get a window unit.
Well, the portable one hooks up to the it's like a tower, and then it hooks up
And it
to the
has like
window.
it has
Ducts.
like a sleeve that
Duct.
goes
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want a big window unit to be sticking out of my house, because the window faces the front of the house, and that'll just look ugly, I think. Um so, and the room's not huge, so I thought Costco has a Black and Decker, and they keep talking about BTU. What is a BTU?
That's how they measure.
Okay, so
So you want to
it's
get, I mean, how big is the room? Well, with all this, I mean, it must be getting pretty warm in there.
it's very hot in there.
Yeah, so
And
you
the
need to
portable
get something
unit.
like 8,000.
I
Okay,
wonder
so
though if just another intake will do the work.
You mean
hold
another
on.
register?
Well, do you have Discord open? I just sent the link, so you look at it, and I don't understand what I'm looking at.
I don't like those portable ones because they also they don't cool as good as far as I know, and they create heat of their own instead of I know it's being exhausted. You still have to exhaust it through the window.
Yeah, which is fine, but to getting a window unit, it's like a huge big box that sticks out of the front of the front of the house. I just don't want that.
It doesn't have to be a huge big box, but it is something sticking out. But that's the most efficient.
And then I found a battery backup that Costco has that I shared all with in the Discord too, and it says it's where'd it go? It says it's simulated sine wave. Never mind, that's bad, right?
I
Well,
don't think so.
need
It
to
actually,
check about that.
it's I think from if you like a lot of computer data centers will use what they call an isolation transformer, which basically means that the power comes in from the power company and is conditioned to be 60 hertz sine wave on the other side of the transformer. So it can be a very useful thing. A simulated sine wave means that it's not directly connected to the utility. Not isn't necessarily a bad thing.
And if
And
I were you, I would call the company, the printer company. Can you talk to somebody there?
no, I mean maybe, but they're so backed up with. Why would I call them?
And
No,
and
you
tell
can
them,
send something to their support
yeah,
asking, yeah, whether they would recommend simulated sine wave
right.
over a pure sine wave or a true sine wave.
Yeah.
Huh.
But how many watts is this one that you found?
is 900.
The 900 watts, or it's got
Yeah.
900 in its model name.
It says 1500
Okay,
VA
yeah,
and then
yeah.
900 watts.
Yeah.
Whatever that means.
Okay. So that will support 4 of your printers.
Yeah. It's a mini unit, or a smaller unit, I guess, because it only has 5 surge plus battery
Mm-hmm.
ports, and then it has 5 just surge
Right.
ports.
Yeah.
So why do they have both? Why I would assume
Because
that they
some
would all be
things
battery.
some things you don't put on a battery. You
Like
can
the printer.
Yeah,
Like
you
Oh.
can put
laser
a
printer, yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But you can expand those outlets with power strips if you want to.
you
You just have to look at the total load. That's just having 5 outlets is just a convenience number. That's how much you could fit in the back.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I
Yeah.
can't put all 5 on that one, anyways, because my room won't support 5
So
printers.
you'll have
on
to
one
distribute
wall.
it a little bit.
So I'd have to get
not
at least.
it's not only that, there's something else, Katie. Does the printer have any kind of a motor?
Yes.
Yeah, you see, and it depends what kind of motor. So many of the UPSs cannot support what they call induction motor, which doesn't have brushes. You
So
need
then, does that mean I should just get with the True to be safe?
no, that's got nothing to do with that. That is just the fact that the UPS will not be able to support certain motors. Certain UPSs with certain motors. That's why I'm saying you need to talk to the company support and ask them. They may say, no, you can't put this printer on a UPS. They may.
Huh.
I don't know.
Did you do a Google search for UPS for 3D printers?
No, I'm doing it right this second.
Start there. See, I'm sure there's information about it, and discussion about it. I would,
Right.
like you usually do, I would go into Reddit discussions, right, and try to find like people who share their
Who
info on
already
that. Yeah.
went through that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just was reading, and I'm correcting what I was going to say earlier, that you can get UPSs that do produce a pure sine wave on the other side of the battery. In a regular UPS like this, a modified sine wave, you do get pure sine wave when you're running directly bypassing the battery. It's only when the battery is involved that you get the modified sine wave.
Right.
So that's the consideration. There's a switching power supply that the printer use have some
Any kind of a
detriment.
regulator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one thing I think I remember, and you guys correct me here, is simulated sine wave. The sine wave is actually
Digital. It's digital.
exactly. It jumps from 0 to 1 immediately, and it's not like it doesn't create the analog type sine wave that we get from the power grid.
Yeah. It's in steps. It's not a jump,
Yeah.
total value jump, but it does
Right.
step up and down. Yeah, I'm reading about that now to find out. And they're overlaying
Yeah.
the two.
I don't know. People are being the Reddit threads are not making fun, but they're like dogging people that are asking about battery backups for bamboo printers, and they're like, "Why would you do it? They have power loss, whatever to start, and it's unnecessary to
Yeah.
have a
So
battery
so
backup."
you disregard these
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
you are in a complete different. You're not printing a single print once
No.
every
Yeah, that's why I'm
week.
like,
Right. So these type of comments are not helpful. You disregard these, right? But just find those who would talk about when the power supply does the work or not, right?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
yeah.
So just at a minimum, I'm at the Eaton site now, which has a really good write-up on it. It said the pro of a simulated sine wave UPS is it's cheaper. That's the only
Yeah.
pro. The negative part of it is that the less smooth and stable output and decreased equipment performance and efficiency. So
Yeah, but if it's just a matter of like a few seconds, it's no big deal.
Yeah, and if the power supply you're plugging into it is designed to tolerate that, then you're okay.
Yeah. And that's why you have to either do what Gal was saying, go and find out from Reddit people that already done it, or you need to call the company and talk
Yeah.
to support and say, here's what I want to do. What is your take on this? Can you advise me what to do with yours? Because I don't want to mess up the printers.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if they have a
Yeah.
frequently asked question because you know I'm not the only one that's out of this. Actually, a lot of 3D printing businesses. So the company is relatively new. Like they're about to have their 2-year anniversary in a couple days, and a lot of the 3D printing farms and businesses that I look up for reference, they all have bamboo printers.
Yeah.
So, I imagine that that's been.
Now you're looking at glitches. What happens if your power gets disconnected for 2, 3, 4 days?
It's never gotten disconnected.
Well, I mean, it can
Well,
happen.
I don't know. Then it will finish the print that it's on, and then I won't start another print.
Well, the UPS won't last.
No,
more
it
than
won't
10 to
last.
20 minutes.
You see, most people will say, "Well, I'll get a generator." Well, that's a lot
Yeah.
worse. That's a
Oh,
lot
yeah,
that
that
worse
was
was one
one
of
on
the
the
comments.
stability.
Wait, how long? So how long does the UPS last or the battery backup?
10 to 20 minutes
Now, not with all
without
these,
power.
not with 4 printers plugged into it. No.
No, with 2 printers, it's
Yeah.
like a PC and
Right.
and a screen, basically, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
And
should I even bother getting a battery
That
backup?
remember, a UPS.
Remember, you started with wanting to avoid glitches.
Yeah,
right?
it's for
Yeah.
glitches. It's
So
not to
yes.
run with.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And
'Cause
if you will have a generator later, you will still need these, especially pure sine waves,
Right.
to make sure that you get clean power, because the generator will not create clean power.
Correct.
Okay, I will.
Okay,
Okay,
so you're definitely doing the right first step.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because you're right. Because whenever I've lost power at my place, it's never been longer than like 30 seconds.
Okay.
Okay.
At least that I might have done it longer
Yeah.
while I was sleeping, but during the day it will like I said, it'll flicker or it'll go down, and then all of a sudden I hear like the AC kick back on like a few seconds later.
Yeah, I mean,
Can
you know the generator that I have here on the house, right?
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah. And it says in there that it is not for computers.
Okay, yeah. So
This article I'm reading says that the owner's manual for the device should say.
oh,
So check that. But
So read
the-
it, yeah.
okay,
So
cool.
the pure sine wave is ideal for electronic devices that need extremely clean signals. You can
Right.
run any appliance without these issues. This is also ideal if you're a gamer and want to keep playing through the storm, but you have to make sure that the computer can handle. They said that all Mac desktops, Apple Mac desktops, require pure sine wave UPSs.
Interesting.
So
I
said
mean,
that if generally any device that's Energy Star 80 or higher requires a pure sine wave backup.
80 or higher. Can you send me what you just read?
Yeah, I'll send you this article.
all right, guys, it's 11:30.
Okay, yeah, we gotta go.
So we hope everybody got good information from what we were talking today. Thanks, Katie. Thanks, Gal. Thanks, Spence. And thanks, Nick. And good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Donna, Dina, Mati, Eleanor, Sarid, Yaakov, and Yael. Thanks, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing. Back up your hard drive, update your virus scanner, and change any same password where you use them. Also, remember the backup 321-123. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computerstucanow.com. Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. Nick is on Wilmington's 980 The Wave and 107.9 FM with his daily political commentary show. You can tell your Echo device to play 980 The Wave, or you can go to the recordings later on at nickcraig.com. And Nick and Brian also do the Infection podcast, which is a podcast for gaming and survival games with some political points here and there. Go to infectionpodcast.com and find out when it is, and you can watch the live one on Twitch. Have a great weekend, whatever's left of it, and we'll be back together next week.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by StreamingGear.com and DeltaForce.net.